You've heard it your whole life. Give respect, take respect. But if that phrase were enough, you wouldn't be here right now, would you? You wouldn't feel that sting when someone talks over you. You wouldn't replay conversations in your head, thinking, why do they treat me like this? You wouldn't feel invisible in rooms where you give so much but get so little back. Maybe you're the one who's always there for others. You listen, you help, you sacrifice. And still, people cross your boundaries, ignore your needs, and take you for granted. The problem isn't that you're a bad person. The problem is that no one ever showed you the real formula behind give respect, take respect. In this audio, you're going to learn how respect truly works, why it starts with you, how to give it without becoming a doormat, and how to quietly raise your standards until people have no choice but to treat you differently. If you're tired of begging for respect and ready to earn it through who you become, let's begin. Chapter 1. The real starting point, self-respect. Everyone wants to be respected. You want people to listen when you speak, to take your no seriously, to treat your time as something valuable. But there's a question almost no one asks. Do you actually respect yourself? Not in theory, in what you do every day. Because whether you realize it or not, you are constantly teaching people how to treat you by how you treat yourself first. If you live like your time, energy, and word are cheap, many people will treat them that way. Self-respect isn't about posting know your worth quotes while living the opposite. It's about your behavior. You show self-respect when you keep your own promises. You say, I'll wake up at 6, and you get up. You say, I'll study for an hour, and you actually sit down and work. You protect your time. You don't give all your best energy to distractions, drama, or people who only call when they need something. You correct yourself without crushing yourself. You can say, I messed up, without I'm useless or I'll never change. Think of someone you truly respect in real life, a coach, a teacher, a boss, a friend. You probably don't respect them because they're perfect. You respect them because they show up, they follow through, they have standards they actually live by. Their life says, my time and my word matter. That's self-respect in action. When you don't respect yourself, you don't need to announce it. Your patterns reveal it. You say yes when everything in you wants to say no. You cancel on your own plans to please everyone else. You laugh at jokes that hurt you because you're afraid to speak up. You let your phone, your mood, and your impulses control your day. Then you feel confused and hurt. Why doesn't anyone take me seriously? Why do people treat me like an option? Why do they think they can cross my boundaries? It's not because you're unworthy. It's because you haven't shown yourself that your time and energy are worth defending. People follow the standard you silently set. Most people secretly live by a backwards formula. When others finally respect me, then I'll start valuing myself. So they wait for family to take them seriously, for a boss to recognize them, for the right partner to fix how they feel inside. But respect doesn't start outside and move in. It starts inside and moves out. The real order is respect yourself, give respect from strength, receive deeper respect over time. You move first. You cannot control who respects you today. You can absolutely control how you show up today. Imagine someone named Jordan. Jordan complains that no one respects him. His family calls him unreliable. His coworkers don't trust him with serious tasks. His friends joke that he never finishes anything. Look at how he lives. Hits snooze over and over, shows up late, makes big plans, quits after a few days, drops personal goals every time someone else wants to hang out, spends hours scrolling, then says, I don't have time. One night after another wasted day, Jordan faces a hard truth. I'm asking for a level of respect from others that I've never given myself. Instead of changing everything overnight, he chooses one simple rule. For the next week, I will get up when my first alarm rings. The first mornings are hard, but each time he wins that small battle, something shifts. He feels a little more in control. He believes his own word a bit more. After a week, he adds another promise. Every night, I'll spend 10 minutes preparing for tomorrow. He's not perfect. He misses some days. But overall, he is more consistent than ever. Months later, people respond differently. His boss trusts him with more responsibility. His family stops calling him the irresponsible one. His friends notice he actually follows through. Nothing magical happened. Jordan simply chose to live with self-respect, and respect from others slowly rose to meet that new standard. You don't need a full life overhaul today. You need one clear promise to yourself. Write this sentence on paper or in your phone. For the next 7 days, I promise myself I will blank. Fill in the blank with one small, specific action you can keep, like I will walk for 10 minutes every day, or I will avoid my phone for the first 20 minutes after waking, or I will spend 15 minutes each night preparing for tomorrow. I will work on my main goal for 20 minutes daily. Sign it, date it. Every time you honor that promise, you send yourself a new message. My word matters. I matter. Before give respect, take respect can work with anyone else, it has to become real between you and yourself. That is where the entire formula begins. Chapter 2: How to Give Respect Without Losing Yourself. Most people are taught only one part of the saying, give respect, take respect. So they hear give respect and think it means say yes to everything, stay quiet to keep the peace, laugh at jokes that hurt, let people interrupt, cancel, and walk over their time. That isn't respect. That's self-erasure. Real respect has two sides: how you treat others and what you allow others to do to you. If you ignore either side, something breaks, either your relationships or you. Giving respect doesn't mean putting people above you. It means recognizing their basic humanity, whoever they are. You show respect when you listen fully instead of waiting for your turn to talk. Speak to the cleaner, the cashier, and the CEO with the same base courtesy. Avoid humiliating people in front of others, even when they're wrong. Don't use someone's insecurities against them in a fight. Give credit when someone helps or has the idea. Think of the person who always cuts people off, makes mean jokes, and acts like they're the smartest in the room. They might get laughs, they might get attention, but do you really respect them? Now think of someone who is firm but fair, honest without being cruel, confident without crushing others. That's the person people trust. That's the person people follow. When you give respect this way, you're not being weak. You're choosing to move through life with standards. Here's the part almost no one teaches. You can be kind, generous, and patient, and still be disrespected if you never protect your own line. If someone regularly interrupts you, jokes about things you've said are off limits, only shows up when they need a favor, repeatedly ignores your time, your schedule, your limits, and your response is always, "It's fine, don't worry about it," you're not being respectful. You're telling them this behavior is okay. Respect for others without respect for yourself isn't noble. It's self-betrayal. Giving respect does not mean letting people talk to you any way they want to, always being available, silencing yourself to avoid awkwardness. Sometimes the most respectful move is to say, calmly, "Don't talk to me like that. I'm not okay with that joke. I'm busy right now. I'll talk to you later." No, I can't commit to that. You're not trying to control them. You're controlling your own participation. Imagine Mia. She's kind, responsible, and helpful at work. Because of that, everyone drops extra tasks on her. "Can you take this one too? Can you stay a little later? Can you fix this? I messed up." Mia wants to be respectful. She keeps saying yes. Her own projects fall behind. She goes home drained. She starts to believe, people don't care about me, only about what I can do. One day she decides a new rule. If I'm already at capacity, I will say no, politely, but clearly. The next time a coworker dumps a quick favor on her, She says, "I'd like to help, but I'm full today. I won't be able to take this on." They look surprised, maybe a little annoyed, but they survive. After a few weeks, people realize Mia has limits. They plan better. They don't assume she'll always fix everything. Her stress lowers. Her respect rises. She didn't stop giving respect. She stopped giving herself away. If you're not used to it, setting boundaries feels scary. You might think, they'll think I'm rude. They'll get mad at me. They'll leave. Some people might get upset, but the ones who truly value you will adjust. A boundary doesn't need a long speech. It needs one clear sentence you can actually say in the moment. For example, "I'm not comfortable with that. Please don't joke about that with me. I'm busy right now. I'll talk to you later. No, I can't commit to that." You don't have to yell. You don't have to explain your whole life story. You just have to mean it. Think of one situation in your life where you often feel disrespected. Maybe it's a friend who always cancels last minute, a coworker who talks over you, a family member who constantly criticizes you. Now do 3 things. 1. Name the pattern. What exactly is the behavior that crosses your line? 2. Decide your limit. What are you no longer willing to accept? 3. Write one short sentence you'll use next time. Examples: "Don't talk to me like that. I'm not okay with that comment. If you keep interrupting me, I'm stepping away from this conversation." Practice saying it out loud when you're alone. The goal isn't drama. The goal is clarity. Because give respect, take respect is not about being endlessly soft. It's about treating others with dignity while refusing to abandon your own.
Chapter 3. Standards. What you tolerate, you teach. There's a simple rule about respect most people miss. What you tolerate, you teach. Every time you allow something that goes against your values, you quietly say, "This is okay with me." You don't have to speak. Your patterns do it for you. That's why standards matter so much. Standards are the minimum level of behavior you accept from yourself, from others, and from your life. They're not about feeling superior. They're about deciding where the floor is, the line you refuse to live below. You already have standards, even if you've never named them. The problem is, most people let comfort, habit, or fear set those standards for them. When that happens, standards sink, and respect sinks with them. For yourself, healthy standards might sound like this: I don't lie to myself about what I'm doing. I move my body every day, even if it's just a walk. I don't talk to myself in ways I wouldn't accept from someone else. For others, standards could be, I don't stay in conversations where I'm insulted. I don't keep chasing people who ignore me. I don't keep rewarding constant last-minute cancellations with more of my time. For your work and goals, standards might be, I'm on time unless something serious happens. I put in at least a bit of focused effort every day. If I say yes, I either deliver or communicate early that I can't. When standards are low or vague, life feels chaotic. Work becomes a cycle of stress and excuses. Relationships fill with drama and confusion. You end up angry at others for crossing lines you never clearly set. Raising your standards isn't about shouting at people or cutting everyone off. It's about quietly deciding what you will and won't accept, and then living like you mean it. Imagine someone named Liam. Liam is kind and fun, but unreliable. He's late to almost everything. He agrees to plans, then cancels last minute. At work, he does just enough not to get fired. People like him, but no one trusts him with anything important. One day, Liam misses a promotion he really wanted. His boss tells him, "You're talented, but you're not consistent." That sentence hits harder than any insult. Liam realizes this isn't about bad luck, it's about his standards. So he sets 3 clear rules for himself. 1. I am on time. 2. If I say yes, I show up. 3. On weeknights, I go to bed before midnight. The first weeks are uncomfortable. He has to leave earlier than he's used to. He has to say no to plans he can't commit to. He has to put his phone down at night when he wants to keep scrolling. But slowly, things change. Coworkers start asking him to be on key projects. Friends stop making jokes about Liam time. His boss begins to trust him with more responsibility. Liam didn't change his personality. He simply raised his standards and stuck to them long enough for people to believe him. Your life works the same way. Your standards will not be taken seriously the day you write them down. They will be taken seriously when you live them consistently. This is not about perfection. You will slip. The point of a standard is not never fail. It's this is my new normal, and when I fall, I return to it. Most people drop their standards the first time it feels hard, then decide, this just isn't me. In reality, that's exactly the moment when your new identity is being tested. If you push through a few of those tests, the standard starts to feel natural instead of forced. To make this real, define your non-negotiable three simple standards you choose to live by now. 1. One standard for yourself. Examples: I don't insult myself. I move my body every day. I spend at least 15 minutes on my main goal. 2. One standard for others. Examples: I won't stay in conversations where I'm insulted. I won't keep chasing people who ignore me. 3. One standard for your work or study. Examples: I'm on time. I give 30 minutes of focused effort each day. If I can't deliver, I communicate early. Write them down. Keep them where you'll see them, on your wall, your desk, or your phone lock screen. For the next 7 days, treat them as law. Every time you honor one of these standards, you send a message to yourself and the world. This is who I am now. This is what life with me looks like. And slowly, the respect you receive begins to rise to match the person you're choosing to become.
Chapter 4. Respect in your closest relationships. It's easy to act respectful with strangers. You say thank you to the cashier. You hold the door for someone. You're polite to your boss in a meeting. But the real test of your respect is not out there. It's at home, with the people who see you tired, stressed, unfiltered, and unpolished. Your partner, your parents, your siblings, your closest friends. That's where your true standards show up. There's a strange pattern in human behavior. We often save our best version for people we barely know and give our worst version to the people we care about most. Why? Because close relationships feel safe. You assume, they know I don't mean it. They'll understand. They're not going anywhere. So you snap when you're stressed. Use sharp words you'd never use at work. Throw old mistakes in their face just to win an argument. Ignore them while you stare at your phone. Over time, that doesn't just hurt feelings, it erodes respect. Love can survive a lot. Respect is more fragile. Once it's gone, everything feels different. Most relationships don't fall apart from one huge betrayal. They crack under 1,000 tiny cuts. Little moments like rolling your eyes when they talk, making them the punchline of jokes, dismissing their worries with "you're overreacting," saying "whatever" instead of listening, promising "I'll change" and doing nothing. None of these look dramatic on their own, but repeated daily, they send a clear message: I don't take you seriously. Your feelings are not important. You're just background noise. Now flip it. Real respect in close relationships is built in simple, consistent habits. Looking at them when they talk, saying thank you for small things, apologizing when you're wrong without adding "but you," avoiding insults even when you're furious, keeping little promises like call times and plans. It's not about being perfect. It's about creating a pattern they can trust. Some people think being respectful means never disagreeing, so they stay silent. They say it's fine when it's not. They swallow their resentment until it explodes. That's not respect either. Real respect allows truth. You can say, when you cancel on me last minute, I feel unimportant. I need you to talk to me, not shut down. I love you, and that comment hurt me. You're not attacking the person. You're naming the behavior and how it affects you. Silence looks peaceful on the surface, but long-term silence kills respect faster than honest, calm conflict. Imagine Ava and Chris. They care about each other, but their respect is fading. When Ava vents about her day, Chris scrolls on his phone and says, "You're too sensitive." When Chris tries something new, Ava jokes, "You'll probably quit like last time." They rarely say, "thank you." They often say, "you always" or "you never." There's no screaming, no cheating, just a steady drip of disrespect. Now imagine a different version. Same two people, same life stress, but new habits. When one speaks, the other puts their phone down. They disagree, but avoid words like always and never. They don't joke about the deepest insecurities they've shared. They apologize when they cross a line. Same couple,
Same problems, completely different level of respect. Think of the 3 closest people in your life right now. For each one, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. How do I usually speak to them when I'm tired or stressed? Do I become sharp, dismissive, sarcastic? 2. What is one disrespectful habit I've developed with them? Interrupting, ignoring messages, mocking their ideas, shutting down? 3. What is one small change I can make this week? Examples. I'll put my phone down when they're talking. I'll stop bringing up old mistakes in every argument. I'll say thank you daily for something they do. Write those 3 names and 1 change for each. You don't need a speech. You don't even need to tell them you're working on respect. Just do it. Remember this. Respect in your closest relationships isn't proven by big dramatic gestures. It's proven in the way you handle ordinary days, tired evenings, and small disagreements. If you can be respectful where you live, you won't have to fake it anywhere else.
Chapter 5. Respect at work and in your career. Work is one of the clearest places where respect, or the lack of it, shows up. You've probably seen it. The person nobody listens to in meetings. The one everyone dumps extra tasks on. The one who gets passed over for promotions, even though they're not the worst performer. And you've probably also seen the opposite. Someone whose time people don't casually waste. Someone whose opinion is asked even when they're not the boss. Someone people trust when it really matters. That difference is not just about job title. It's about how they carry themselves and the standards they live by at work. At work or in business, people respect reliability more than raw talent. You gain professional respect when, if you say you'll deliver on Tuesday, you deliver on Tuesday. Or you clearly communicate ahead of time if something changes. You show up on time, or you give a real heads up if you'll be late. You don't disappear when things go wrong. You help fix the problem. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to become someone people can count on. Respect at work moves in 3 directions. 1. Upward. How you treat bosses, managers, clients, teachers. 2. Downward. How you treat interns, juniors, assistants, service staff. 3. Sideways. How you treat coworkers, teammates, classmates. Most people are only good at upward respect. They're polite to whoever has power over them, but your true character shows in the other 2 directions. If you're kind to your manager and rude to the receptionist, people notice. If you're a professional with your teacher and cruel to classmates, people notice. Real respect means you talk to the janitor, the delivery driver, and the CEO with basic dignity. You don't punch down on people who have less power than you. You don't make yourself look big by making others feel small. Over time, this builds a quiet reputation. You can trust this person. They're solid. Imagine Nora. She's good at her job, but no one seems to take her seriously. She shows up right on the dot or a few minutes late. She turns in work that's good enough. She complains with coworkers about the company, but never brings solutions. She's polite to her manager, but dismissive toward interns and support staff. She feels stuck and overlooked. One day, after watching someone else get an opportunity she wanted, Nora decides to treat her role differently, even if the company never changes. She sets 3 rules. 1. I will be 5 to 10 minutes early, not barely on time. 2. I will turn in work I'm proud to sign my name on. 3. I will treat everyone, from the top to the bottom of the ladder, with the same level of basic respect. Within a few months, people start coming to her with important questions. Her manager trusts her with more visible projects. Coworkers talk about her as dependable instead of just okay. The job didn't magically transform. Nora did. Her standards rose and professional respect followed. At work, being the one who always helps can feel good until it doesn't. If you always say yes to extra tasks, cover for people regularly, solve problems others caused, never push back even when your own workload is heavy, you might feel useful, but that doesn't mean you're respected. Sometimes it means you're being used. Respect looks more like helping when you can, not at the cost of your own responsibilities. Saying, I'm at capacity, I can't take that on when you're overloaded. Being clear about priorities instead of silently drowning. You're still a team player. You're just not a doormat. Take a moment to be brutally honest with yourself. Ask 1. If my boss, coworkers, or classmates had to describe me in one word, what word would I want it to be? Reliable, respectful, professional, or lazy, late, unstable? And 2, does my current behavior match that word? If not, choose 2 small changes you can start this week. For example, arrive 5 to 10 minutes early instead of right on time. Double-check your work before turning it in. Stop gossiping about coworkers and focus on solutions. Respond to emails or messages in a reasonable time instead of ignoring them. You don't need a new job to gain more respect. You need new standards in the job you already have. Because over time, workplaces remember less of what you said about yourself and more of how you showed up when it counted.
Chapter 6. Respect in Conflict and Disagreement. Anyone can seem respectful when everything is calm. The real test comes when you're angry, hurt, or misunderstood. Conflict is where many people lose respect, either for others or for themselves. Some explode, yelling, insulting, breaking trust with words they can't take back. Others shut down, silent treatment, cold distance, refusing to talk. Both paths destroy respect over time. If you want real, give respect, take respect, you have to learn how to handle disagreement without burning the whole bridge. In heated moments, it's easy to forget what you're actually upset about. You start with, "You didn't tell me about this decision." You end with, "You never care about me. You always ruin everything." Now the conversation isn't about one issue, it's about their entire identity. That's where respect collapses. A simple rule: speak about behavior and impact, not the person's worth. Instead of, "You're selfish," say, "When you made that decision without me, I felt ignored." Instead of, "You always overreact," say, "When you raised your voice, it was hard for me to stay calm." Same feeling, different level of respect. In conflict, your first reaction is usually your worst reaction, a powerful habit. Before you say the big sentence, pause for 10 seconds. In those 10 seconds, ask yourself, if I say this, will it help or just hurt? Will I regret these words tomorrow? Am I trying to solve the problem or just win? If you still believe it needs to be said, fine. But often the pause is enough to lower the emotional temperature so you can choose better words. Respect is not never feeling anger. Respect is what you do with that anger. You can disagree strongly and still be respectful. You can say, "I don't see it that way. I think you're wrong about this. I can't accept that decision," without name-calling, mocking, bringing up every mistake from the last 5 years. When you drag in old wounds just to gain power, you might win the argument, but you lose trust. A respectful disagreement focuses on this issue, this moment, this decision, not a full character assassination. Sometimes the most respectful move is to pause a conversation, not as punishment, not as control, but as protection. If things are getting too heated, you can say, "I'm too upset to talk clearly right now. I need a short break," or "Let's pause and come back to this in an hour," or "I don't want to say something I'll regret. Can we continue this later?" Then actually come back. Storming off and refusing to ever revisit the topic is not respectful. Taking space to calm down and then returning shows maturity and care. Imagine Daniel and his brother Mark. They argue a lot. Small disagreements turn big fast. Mark forgets to pay him back. Daniel explodes. "You never do anything right. You're useless. I'm done with you." Mark shuts down and avoids him for weeks. Both feel disrespected. Now imagine Daniel trying a different approach. When Mark forgets again, Daniel says, "Look, when you don't pay me back on time, I feel taken for granted. I need you to treat my money and time with more respect. Can we set a clear date and stick to it?" The problem is the same, but the way Daniel speaks protects the relationship and his own dignity. That is respectful conflict. Think back to a recent argument with a family member, friend, partner, or coworker. Ask yourself, 1. What triggered me the most? 2. What words or actions of mine felt disrespectful even if I was hurt? 3. How could I have said the same truth in a more respectful way? Now, on paper or in your phone, rewrite one key sentence from that fight.
For example, change "you're always selfish" to "I feel forgotten when this happens." You can't change that past moment, but you can train yourself for the next one. You will still feel anger. You will still disagree with people you love. That's human. The difference from now on is this: you choose to protect both the truth and the respect in the conversation. Because give respect, take respect doesn't mean avoiding conflict. It means learning to fight for the relationship without destroying each other in the process.
Chapter 7. Respecting your time, energy, and environment. If you don't respect your time, your energy, and the space you live in, everything else you're learning about respect will feel unstable. You can set boundaries with people. You can demand better treatment. You can raise your standards. But if your days are chaotic, your mind is exhausted, and your environment is a mess, you will still feel out of control. Respect is not only how others treat you, it's also how you treat your own life. You don't lose years at once. You lose minutes. 5 here, 10 there, just one more video. And suddenly, the day is gone. Often, "I don't have time" really means I gave my time to things that don't matter to me. Respecting your time doesn't mean filling every second with work. It means asking on purpose, what truly matters to me this week? What one thing today will move me even a little closer? Where am I regularly wasting hours for nothing? There is a huge difference between rest and escape. Rest recharges you. Sleep, a walk, a good conversation, a show you consciously enjoy. Escape just numbs you. Mindless scrolling, random videos, arguing online. Respecting your time means you start choosing more rest and less escape. Even if you had unlimited time, your energy is limited. You know the feeling. You technically have hours left in the day, but mentally, you're done. That's what happens when your best mental and emotional energy goes to the wrong places. Pointless arguments, endless complaining, watching drama instead of building anything real. Ask yourself, who or what drains me almost every time? What do I keep engaging with, even though it never leads anywhere? What actually makes me feel better and stronger afterward? Respecting your energy doesn't mean avoiding all discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable. It means you stop wasting energy on things that never move. Instead of fighting to be right in every discussion, you start walking away. Instead of reading every negative comment, you protect your focus. Instead of giving all your emotional bandwidth to people who don't change, you invest more in those who actually try. Look around the space where you spend most of your time. Is it helping you or working against you? A messy, loud, cluttered environment sends constant signals to your brain. There's too much to handle. You're already behind. Why bother starting? An intentional environment doesn't have to be perfect or expensive. It just needs to say, you care about your life. You're creating room for focus. You're building something here. You don't need a full home makeover. You need one clear area that represents your future. A clean desk, a simple corner where you plan or read, a chair where you sit without your phone and think. That space becomes a physical reminder. When I'm here, I take myself seriously. Imagine Sam. Sam always says, "I don't have time to work on myself." His reality, first thing every morning, phone in hand. 20, 30, 40 minutes of scrolling before getting up, rushed mornings, distracted days, tired evenings, a room piled with stuff, a desk he never uses. One Sunday, he decides on a 1-week experiment. He doesn't try to change everything. He chooses 3 moves. 1. No phone for the first 20 minutes after waking. He uses that time to drink water, stretch, and plan the day. 2. Clean and clear one space, his desk. Trash out, clutter put away, only essentials left. 3. A 25-minute focus block every evening. By the end of the week, mornings feel calmer. He actually finishes things during his focus block. His room doesn't instantly stress him out. His job hasn't changed. His family hasn't changed. But Sam now walks through his day with more control. That's what respecting time, energy, and environment feels like. Within the next 24 hours, do this simple reset. 1. Time. Protect one block. Pick a daily block of 20 to 30 minutes. Decide in advance, no social media, no random browsing in this block. Use it for planning, learning, or working on your main goal. Write it down. Every day at blank, I use this time to respect my future by doing blank. 2. Energy. Close one leak. Choose one thing that always drains you and set a rule. No arguing in comments, no phone in bed, no answering non-urgent messages after 11 p.m. This isn't punishment, it's protection. 3. Environment. Fix one small physical space, your desk, your nightstand, the spot where you usually sit. Spend 15 to 20 minutes throwing out trash, putting things back where they belong, and leaving that area simple and clear. When you treat your time as valuable, your energy is limited, and your environment as meaningful, your inner posture changes. You no longer feel like life is just happening to you. You feel like you're showing up for your own life. And that quiet, steady self-respect is something people can feel, often before you say a single word.
Chapter 8. The Long Game. Becoming a Person of Respect. Up to now, you've learned how respect shows up in your words, your boundaries, your relationships, your work, and your daily life. But there's one more level you need to understand. Respect is not just something you get in moments. It's something you become over years. You are not just building isolated habits. You are building a reputation with others and with yourself. People often talk about reputation like it's some mysterious thing. It isn't. Your reputation is simply what you do repeatedly, how you react under pressure, and what you prioritize when choices are hard. If you regularly show up late, break small promises, talk badly about people behind their backs, avoid responsibility when things go wrong, then even if you have good moments, your reputation will be weak. If you regularly show up when you said you would, own your mistakes, respect people even when you disagree, protect your time and boundaries, then even if you're not perfect, your reputation will be strong. People don't remember every single thing you do. They remember your pattern. You can fake respect for a short time. You can act confident. You can charm people for a week. You can pretend to be kind while secretly using others. But long-term, your true standards always show. Short-term, you might gain attention, flattery, shallow praise. Long-term, you lose trust, depth in relationships, and real influence. On the other hand, building genuine respect is slow. You won't get applause every time you say no to something unhealthy. Do the right thing when no one is watching. Apologize instead of defending your ego. Stick to your boundaries. Sometimes it will feel like no one notices, but over months and years, your consistent choices stack up like bricks. One day, people will say things like, "When they say they'll do it, it gets done." You can trust them with something important. They don't play games with people's feelings. That's the long game of respect. Habits are important, but underneath your habits is something even stronger, your identity. If deep down you still think, "I'm unreliable, I always mess things up, I'm not the kind of person people respect," you will unconsciously act in ways that match those beliefs. You're not just changing what you do, you're changing how you see yourself. Instead of, "I'm trying to be more disciplined," you start thinking, "I am someone who keeps my word." Instead of, "I'm trying to not let people walk on me," you think, "I am a person who values myself and others." The more you act like that person, the more real it becomes. As your standards rise, some parts of your old life won't fit anymore. Some people will be uncomfortable when you stop being always available. You say no to disrespect. You stop joining in gossip or negativity. You choose growth over constant distraction. They might say, "You've changed. You think you're better than us now. You're too serious." You're not better than anyone. You're just making different choices. And sometimes to protect your future, you'll need to spend less time in certain environments. Distance yourself from constant drama. Walk away from relationships that refuse to respect your basic boundaries. It hurts, but your new life will cost you your old one. The key is this: don't lower your standards just to keep people who refuse to rise with you. Think of your actions like deposits in a bank account called Who I Am. Every time you keep a promise, deposit. Every time you control your reaction in conflict, deposit. Every time you defend your boundaries calmly, deposit. Every time you choose growth over comfort, deposit. One day, you won't see a big difference. 1 week, still small. But over months and years, that account grows. Suddenly, you walk differently, more grounded. You speak differently, more certain, less desperate. You choose differently, long-term over short-term. That inner solidity is something people can feel, even if they can't explain it. To lock this in, do this exercise as soon as you can. Imagine yourself 5 or 10 years from now, a version of you that is deeply respected. You keep your word, your boundaries are clear, your relationships are healthier, your work and character are trusted. Write a short letter from that future you to the present you. Start with, "I'm proud of you for," then answer, "You started respecting yourself when you stopped." You began to earn real respect when you decided to. Because of those choices, my life now looks like blank. Be specific. Mention habits, boundaries, people you moved closer to, and people you stepped away from. You don't have to show this to anyone, but read it again in a week and again in a month. Let it remind you, every time you choose self-respect, honest respect for others, and clear standards, you're not just surviving another day. You're building that future version of you that doesn't have to ask for respect. They simply are a person of respect.
Chapter 9. Respect in the digital world. You don't stop being you when you go online, but most people act like the internet is a separate universe with no rules, no consequences, and no memory. They say things they'd never say face to face. They waste hours they'd never admit they had. They disrespect themselves and others through a screen and then wonder why they feel anxious, drained, and invisible. If you want real give respect, take respect, it has to include your digital life. Because your phone isn't just a device, it's where your attention, your emotions, and your reputation are constantly being shaped. Ask yourself honestly, do you say things in comments you'd never say to someone's face? Do you argue with strangers for hours just to prove a point? Do you share things you haven't really checked just because they're shocking or emotional? Respect online means you remember there are real people behind usernames and profile pictures. You don't join hate mobs, pile-ons, or character assassinations. You disagree without dehumanizing. Instead of "you're an idiot," you say, "I see this differently," because instead of mocking someone's appearance or past, you attack the idea, not the human. You're not being soft. You're being consistent with your values, even when no one can see your face. Your digital world isn't just how you treat others, it's also how you treat your brain. Every scroll, every notification, every tap is training your mind to react instantly or to pause, to seek cheap dopamine or to choose real focus, to compare constantly or to build quietly. If you spend hours a day comparing your life to carefully edited highlights, clicking on outrage content that leaves you angry and empty, switching apps every few seconds, you're teaching your mind to be scattered and unsatisfied. Respecting yourself online means you unfollow accounts that always leave you feeling worse about your life. You limit content that is pure drama and outrage. You choose to consume things that inform, inspire, or genuinely entertain, not just numb. Imagine Emily. She wakes up, grabs her phone, and scrolls. Within minutes, she's comparing her body to fitness influencers, reading arguments in the comments of strangers, watching friends post perfect vacations and relationships. By the time she gets out of bed, she already feels behind, unattractive, and irritated. Nothing in her real life has changed, but her internal state has. One evening, she decides to test something. She unfollows accounts that trigger constant comparison. She mutes people who only post negativity and drama. She moves her most distracting apps off her home screen. She follows a few pages that share useful ideas, skills, or encouragement. Within a week, her timeline feels different. She still sees real life, but it's no longer just noise and poison. Her phone stops being a weapon against her mindset and starts becoming a tool she can use. That's digital self-respect. Just like in real life, you need boundaries online. That might look like not replying to messages instantly, all day, every day, refusing to argue in comment sections, ignoring bait posts designed only to start fights, choosing not to share every detail of your personal life for strangers to judge. You don't owe the internet your whole story. You don't owe strangers your energy. Respect says, I choose where my time and attention go. I don't let algorithms decide my mood. Today, take 15 to 20 minutes to clean your online space the way you'd clean a room. 1. Unfollow or mute 10 accounts that consistently make you feel less than, fill you with anger or drama, add nothing meaningful to your life. 2. Follow or save 5 accounts that teach you something valuable, encourage you, support the kind of person you want to become. 3. Set one rule for your phone. Examples: no phone for the first 20 minutes after waking, no social media after 11 p.m., no replying to non-urgent messages during my focus block. You'll notice something surprising. When you respect your digital life, your real life starts to feel calmer, clearer, and more in your control. Because online or offline, you're still you, and respect has to follow you everywhere.
Chapter 10. Daily Practice. Turning Respect into a Habit. You've learned a lot of ideas. Self-respect, boundaries, standards, respect in relationships, at work, in conflict, online, and in how you use your time and energy. But ideas alone don't change lives. Habits do. The question now is simple. How do you turn all of this into something you actually live day after day? Most people fail because they aim for huge changes overnight. I'll change everything starting Monday. I'll never let anyone disrespect me again. I'll be a completely different person this year. Then real life hits. They slip once and decide it's over. Instead, think in terms of small, repeatable moves. Ask, what can I do every day that is so small I can't talk myself out of it? What simple action proves to me again and again that I live by these values? Respect grows like muscle through consistent, manageable resistance. Here's a framework you can adapt, a basic respect routine you can run every day. It has 3 parts: morning check-in for about 5 minutes, midday moment for about 1 to 2 minutes, and evening reflection for about 5 to 10 minutes. You can do more, but don't do less. Right after you wake up, ideally before touching your phone, ask yourself, what is one way I will respect myself today? What is one boundary I will protect if tested? What is one important thing I'm going to give my best effort to? You can write it down in your notebook or in your Notes app. Example, today I respect myself by eating one real meal instead of junk all day. If someone speaks to me disrespectfully, I will calmly say, don't talk to me like that. I will give my best to my 30-minute deep work block. This takes minutes, but it gives your day intention. Somewhere in the middle of your day, lunch break, a bathroom break, a walk, pause for 60 seconds. Ask, am I living the way I planned this morning? Did I keep my boundary, or did I let it slide? How have I respected or disrespected myself so far today? No judgment, just honesty. If you're off track, don't wait for tomorrow. Adjust in the same day. Respect isn't about never slipping. It's about catching yourself faster and returning to your path. At night, before you sleep, put your phone down. Take 5 to 10 minutes. Answer these 3 questions. Where did I respect myself today? Where did I disrespect myself or let others cross a line? What is one thing I'll do differently tomorrow? You can add one thing I'm proud of, one thing I'm grateful for. This small ritual keeps you awake to your own life instead of running on autopilot. There will be days when you break your promise to yourself, fail to enforce a boundary, react badly in conflict, waste time online again. Old you would use that as proof. See, I'll never change. New you does something different. You acknowledge it. You apologize if needed. You learn from it. You recommit. You don't throw away the entire project of self-respect because of one bad day. That's what makes this a lifestyle, not a phase. Right now, design the next week of your life around respect. 1. Pick one self-respect habit. Daily walk, planning time, focused work, better sleep, no phone in bed, etc. 2. Pick one relationship habit. Listening fully, no insults in arguments, saying thank you more, setting one clear boundary. 3. Pick one environment or digital habit, cleaning one space, limiting social media at a certain time, unfollowing toxic accounts. Write them down under, for the next 7 days, I will respect myself and others by blank. Then, at the end of the week, review. What changed in how you feel about yourself? What changed in how people responded to you? What do you want to keep doing? You don't become a person of deep respect through a single decision. You become that person through hundreds of small choices, some big, most tiny, repeated until they define you. From here, the formula is in your hands. Respect yourself. Give real respect. Protect your standards. Practice daily. If you keep moving, even slowly, life will start to meet you at the level of the person you're becoming.
You've just walked through the real give respect, take respect formula. You've seen how it starts with self-respect, grows through your standards, shows in your relationships and work, and reaches into your time, your energy, and your environment. You've seen that respect is not a trick, not a quick hack, but a way of living, a long game. Now comes the only part that matters, what you do next. You don't need to change everything tonight. Pick one small action, one promise to yourself you'll keep for the next 7 days, one boundary you'll finally protect, one daily time block you'll guard for your future. Write it down, commit to it, prove to yourself that your word has weight. Then, I want you to scroll down and comment, I will respect myself by blank. Fill in the blank with your action. If this audio helped you see respect differently, subscribe to this channel right now. You'll get more long-form guidance on discipline, focus, self-growth, and building a life you're proud of. Remember, respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you build, and then you walk in it every single day.